I do have cancer.
It's quite hard to imagine a time where I'm going to be running up and down mountains again.
That there was no evidence of any residual disease.
Hello, my name's Peter, and this is my transformation story. But I didn't do this alone. I had incredible support from family, friends, subscribers. But special mention goes to my wife Jenny, who was there by my side the whole time. Jenny, this is for you. I started this channel sharing mainly health and fitness content, mostly about running, to be honest. A pastime I absolutely adore. It helps me relax and truly appreciate the outdoors. Then at the beginning of 2021, this happened.
So I've been a little bit unsure as to whether to make this video or not, but yeah, unfortunately the title of the video is correct. I do have cancer, which sounds really surreal still coming out of my mouth.
My diagnosis of neuroendocrine cancer sent my life on a completely different path than I'd ever anticipated. I had a tumour in my small intestines that had spread to nearby lymph nodes and into my liver. The following weeks were really tough. They were filled with lots of uncertainty, tests and new treatments.
Really, most of the time you're just waiting around for things to happen, for appointments, for results, and it takes a real sort of high level of patience to get through it. And you know, I pride myself in having good patience, but I'm really struggling at times, I'll be honest with you. So it's a week after I started my lanreotide injection, so my treatment for my neuroendocrine tumours, and to be honest, it's not been the greatest week. I felt fairly under the weather, to be honest with you.
But thankfully, my treatment plan was taking shape and would centre around two major operations. The first was going to remove my primary tumour and a number of lymph nodes, and the second would be a liver resection to get rid of the tumours in my liver. However, after more waiting, I faced some frustrating delays.
My surgery is no longer happening on Friday, so it's been postponed probably till the following Friday or even the Friday after that.
But then it all started happening and my surgery was scheduled for the end of April 2021. I was introduced to hospital food, and at the risk of sounding ungrateful, we didn't get along particularly well. But despite the food, the 4 nights I spent in hospital were a success, and I was sent home seemingly rid of my primary tumour and affected lymph nodes. Fast forward a few months of regaining my strength, having tests, being given more drugs, and experiencing a portal vein embolisation. I was back in hospital for the bigger of the 2 operations, removing over 70% of my liver. Now this period in hospital was really difficult. I faced challenges, complications, sleepless nights, and of course there was pain. But after 8 nights I was able to go home with the surgeons confident they had got rid of all the cancer.
Time I got home, I need to see Jenny. I need my comforts.
And now back at home feeling incredibly fragile, to be honest. I felt buoyed by the fact that now my recovery could properly begin and hopefully a clear scan to look forward to. However, it was evident pretty quickly that my recovery was going to take time.
This is only my second walk out of the house since getting home from hospital. Not going to go very far, but it's nice to be out. It's lovely being out for a walk. Just under 3 weeks out from my operation. Just get very tired very quickly. Ooh. Gradually just trying to build up the amount of steps that I do in a day, trying not to push it too hard. But 4 weeks, almost 4 weeks out, and still very breathless when I walk, just very tight in my abdomen. But 1 step at a time, literally. It's quite hard to imagine a time where I'm going to be running up and down mountains again, but I will make that dream a reality.
As the weeks passed, I was able to slowly start becoming more and more active. A quick dip in the North Sea aside, I walked and walked and walked some more. And then December rolled around and it was time to try running.
Oh, it's happening. I'm all warmed up. I'm out for my run. I'm in my running kit. I haven't put on for a long time. So I was actually looking at my Strava. So it's been about 10 months really since I've been running regularly. and I'm gonna walk when I need to and run when I feel like it. So yeah, I think it's time we go. Okay, that's about a kilometre done, and I've completely underestimated how difficult this was going to feel. I knew obviously my fitness level was going to be at an all-time low. I have to walk quite a long periods of this, unfortunately. Oh well, I say unfortunately, it's just the case, isn't it? It's what's to be expected, really. Interestingly, I feel it quite a lot in my sort of upper back. I think my lungs aren't used to kind of having to expand that far, therefore I'm using muscles that I've not really used for a little while, or for a long while I suppose. Anyway, it's nice, it's enjoyable. That's another kilometre done. As you can tell, that was as easy as the first one. Whew. Now I kind of intended to keep my heart rate really low during this. It's up above 160, which is quite high really. Should probably try and keep it a bit lower, but having too much fun. So that's 5k done in just under 40 minutes, which isn't too bad. A good start.
Now, unfortunately, that first run, as fun as it was, did come with consequences. I actually rolled my ankle, and even though it felt like I'd got away with it at the time, it did swell up and became quite uncomfortable. I tried running again a few days later, and although I managed it, afterwards I was in pain again. But then away from running, this happened.
So I was scheduled for an MRI scan on the 18th of December, so a couple of weeks ago now, and yesterday I received a phone call from the oncology team to tell me about the results from that scan as to whether anything was left behind. And I'm really pleased to say that they found that there was no evidence of any residual disease. Yeah, no tumours inside my body anymore. A year of getting rid of the tumours, and finally we can say that I'm tumour free. Oh well, that feels good to say.
So, it's now the beginning of January 2022, and it's been a bit of a frustrating month really, December. So I started with great intentions to get out running again and gradually to up my mileage, but my ankle still isn't quite right since sort of going over on it that very first run back, which has been frustrating. So I think it's a bit more of an injury than I first thought. The other thing that's been niggling at me as well is I've got a pain in my foot, which has actually kind of been there since my surgery. I actually woke up from my surgery and I had a bit of a bruise on my foot, so who knows what that's all about. But that's stopping me from running. In fact, I haven't really been on that many walks either. So yeah, not great, but I did know going into this that I was probably going to likely feel some niggles and have to work through them. But yeah, particularly frustrating that it's taken me out for the best part of a month, but I'm confident that I'll soon be able to run again.
As well as those niggles, I was also not feeling great generally. My digestion was all over the place, and to add to that, my hair had started falling out quite rapidly. I felt like 2021 had aged me and made me feel quite fragile, and now I was losing my hair. I wasn't sure if there was any underlying cause, so some tests were arranged.
Okay, let's try this comeback again then, shall we? So it's now the 8th of January, so well over a month since I started my attempted comeback, and I'd hoped to be a fair bit further along with things, but hey, them's the breaks. So I'm out today. My ankle feels okay. My foot's still a little bit iffy. Still not quite sure what's going on with that. So today, definitely a bit of a test. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it doesn't aggravate it, and we can move on and start enjoying ourselves out on the trails again. Right, let's see how we go. So the weather today is absolutely grim. It's cold, it's wet, and there was a very small part of me that didn't really want to come out today, but all I had to do was remember all those days I didn't even have the choice. I wasn't even able to come out, so that's all I needed. I think I'm a little underdressed for this.
And then after that cold January run, momentum started to build.
So I used to have a sort of standard 10k run that I'd go on, and this is this direction basically, although I'm going to cut a little bit of it off, so I reckon maybe I might manage 8k today. 10 kilometers done in a slow but perhaps respectable 1 hour 10 minutes.
Life is just so much more fun when you're fit and healthy, and I just want to live my life to the fullest.
I'm never so packed for the stack, never lied on the rap, got a bag from the way that I write it. Queen looking Tyson, do that ass survive, doing 80 to the house, then I hit it to the sky, change haters on a tirade, talking to their grip in the face, be still, let that hate stuff fade. We all want the same, we all want a meal in the safe, I want to live like I'm trying to reach enlightenment. Trail spill from my lips, feel bent from the bib, take a sip till I pass out. Try and get grit, but it don't make sense, cause you can lose life on this fast route. Yeah, turn thoughts to a cash cow. I might flip that to the glass house. I don't need the accolades, I'm in love with the chase.
And then at the beginning of April, I did this. I registered for the 20-mile Beast of the Beacons mountain running event by Limitless Trails, a trail race in the Brecon Beacons of Wales. Was I ready? Probably not, but I had a real urge to get out and do what I love doing and to prove to myself that my cancer was behind me. But less than a week before the start line, it was all put in jeopardy when this happened.
So early today I got a phone call, and the dietitian has been reviewing my blood test results, and she noticed that the blood test result from several weeks ago shows that I'm deficient in iron, so I am anemic. And that, to be honest, could explain why I was losing my hair. Thankfully, my hair is now thickened up quite a lot, so maybe I'm not even anemic anymore, but they are starting me on some iron tablets anyway. Yeah, not ideal considering we've now got this 20-mile race coming up. But I feel okay, and yeah, we'll just see how we feel as we go.
Okay, so I'm 3k in. It's been nice and flat so far. I've probably made a slight error and gone off a little bit quick. Classic. Heart rate's in the 160s, probably should be 10 beats lower really. Oh well. Look, it's been a while, guys. Come on. Apparently the first hill is an absolute beast and I can see it coming up ahead. I don't think there's any point in me running this. I'm just going to walk this bit. Run the flats and the downhills, walk the uphills. Simple plan. Stick with it. Been here before on runs with James, and I know the mountain we're going up just goes on, and once you get to the top it's quite nice. There's a nice flat bit at the top. But yeah, feeling good. Almost 6k through, another 28 to go. Here we go, it begins. Steepest climb of the day, I think. Certainly the longest. get it done early, then everything else won't feel quite as bad. Is that how it works? So as I walk up this rather steep hill, I want to try and explain something. It might not make any sense at all, but I'll give it a go anyway. So before my cancer, I was what I'd consider a pretty healthy guy, keeping my physical fitness and also pretty stable on the old mental health side of things as well. You know, not gonna lie, always been prone to a little bit of anxiety. You know, definitely had low times in my life. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone out there watching this video can relate to that. But in general, I felt pretty in control of things. And then, hang on, let me work out this gate. And then along comes cancer and took that control away really. So I was no longer in control of my physical self as this thing inside me eating away at my insides. I was getting symptoms that I couldn't work out and it's all very confusing. So there started a kind of disconnect between my mind and my body in a way. But I will say my mind did stay strong throughout, and I'd say that to anyone watching who might be going through something similar. Is diseases like cancer, they can take your physical body away from you, but your mind is your own. You're in control of that. So maybe if you can, take some comfort in the fact that you are still in control in a way.
I've just paused here because I think there's an important thing that I need to add, and that's if you are going through something like cancer, then it's inevitable that you are going to have bad days where things feel like they're all getting a bit too much. That's completely normal. And if that does happen, don't be hard on yourself. Anyway, back to me struggling up a hill.
Whew, was this a good idea doing this on the hill? Maybe not. Well, you're going to have to deal with my breathless talking, I'm afraid. But with that disconnect between my mind and my body, I also lost some trust in my body. I always previously trusted that my body would keep me healthy and fit, and I've lost that because of what happened to me. And these last few months getting back into training has been about building that trust up again, building that connection. And I think doing this event today is kind of the culmination of all that. And I'm hoping that I'll feel whole again after this. Unfortunately, that's a fake summit. That's the top. Oh gosh, this climb's gonna kill. That's what we're here for, though. The top.
I've reached the top.
Oh, at the top. 10k done. 1 hour 27. About where I want to be, I think. Right, I'm gonna bring my heart rate right down for that.
So, I was 10 kilometres through with the hardest climb behind me. I was loving it, but much like Marv from Home Alone 2, what goes up must come down. And I would experience that in more ways than one soon enough. But at this point in the race, I trotted along at a leisurely pace, enjoying the stunning scenery. And other than finishing in time to get to our 2:30 PM lunch reservation at the local pub, I felt no pressure to finish particularly quickly.
Really quite steep downhill now. I feel my quads working pretty hard. Been to the first checkpoint. Filled up my water, some electrolytes. having a bar. About 14k through. Whew. Just ticked over 17k in 2 hours 15, so that's about halfway. Yeah. Feeling okay. Heading for home now. I have to say, this is a nice welcome road running section. I mean, I love the trails, but yeah, this is nice.
And then things changed. My abdomen that had been altered forever due to cancer started fighting me. It no longer wanted to run anymore. I had general pains, nausea, and without going into too many details, I had to take several unwanted trips to the toilet. From this point on, which was about the 20k mark, I was unable to eat any food and consumed very little water. Not ideal to say the least, but I didn't want this challenge to be easy, so I kept moving. Admittedly slowly, but I was moving.
I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection. I summon it.
10k left to go. Might take me a little while, but I'll get there. Got this uphill, downhill, a steep uphill, and then downhill to the finish. So not too bad.
Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you a dollar?
Just one more steep hill to go.
For nothing, I see that we different. You riding, I double. I don't do discussions on bragging about hundreds. Don't go to your places, I know that they sunken. Don't call me your brother, I barely could trust you. I talked to a shorty, she bagging the bucket, and I'ma need all of my dollars on corporate, so hand me the money.
30k done. Just been over the last hill, thankfully. Oh, I don't feel great. Got 4k to go.
Now those last kilometres, as hard as they were, I won't forget because despite my sickness and exhaustion, I felt pure joy. I couldn't help reflect on the events of my life from the previous year. 8 months ago, I'd been lying in a hospital bed after having more than 70% of my liver removed. I could barely walk the length of a corridor. I would dream about taking part in events again, but at times I thought that would be impossible.
Here we go. Yes, come on. It's quite hard to imagine a time where I'm going to be running down mountains again, but I will make my dream a reality.
Life is a strange beast, unforgiving, unpredictable, seemingly unfair at times. But much like this race, despite the difficulties, at the same time it's unquestionably beautiful. A big purpose for sharing all I've been through is to provide some comfort and hope for others going through difficult times. If that's you, hang tight, because it's true, those troughs make the peaks even sweeter. Thanks for watching.